What down? Welcome back to Logix Lens, and today we're going to talk about the PSVR 2 and how they're stopping production for it. I know I'm a little late to the party, but it don't matter. I'm here, guys. What's up? So if you guys haven't heard, the PSVR 2, Sony is deciding to stop production on it because they have an over inventory. They have too many because they ain't selling. And who told them it wasn't gonna sell? This guy. Back when this thing got announced, I made a video on this channel referring to everything that's been going on in the economy, how it's hard for people to get their hands on a PlayStation in the first place, and now that people are actually able to just walk in the store and get a PlayStation for the most part, you guys want to sell us a $550 headset that is already a niche genre in and of itself. Most people aren't VR gamers. Like, there are kids that like it and stuff, but even to ask a parent to shell out another $550 on top of having this console, that's a big ask, especially when you have something like the Oculus MetaQuest where you don't need anything else. It's not tethered to anything. It has a wider range of games you can play, and it doesn't cost nearly as much as this. I don't even know how us as the consumers all saw this not going well, but Sony didn't. Big surprise. I mean, it's getting clearer and clearer by the day why Jim Ryan stepped down. Like, he literally is probably just like, this is it. I don't even see what's happening anymore at this point. So let's head over to The Verge and see what they said about the PSVR 2 and what's happening and why. We're on The Verge. This article was made by John Porter, posted a few days ago on March 18th. After producing in excess of 2 million units of its latest virtual reality headset, Bloomberg is reporting that Sony is hitting pause on production to try and shift its unsold inventory. The PlayStation VR 2 launched last February for $549 as an accessory for the PlayStation 5. I think it's hilarious that they're calling it an accessory and it costs more than the initial product. I can't think of any accessory that costs more than what it is accessorizing. Bloomberg suggests that the problem is a lack of content for the headset. The PSVR 2 is compatible with a handful of AAA games, including Horizon, Call of the Mountain, Gran Turismo 7, and entries in the Resident Evil series, as well as a range of smaller titles. If I'm not mistaken, don't you need to buy these separately from the main installment? Like Horizon Call of the Mountain, ain't that like a separate purchase from Horizon? Oh yes, if we look here, Horizon Call of the Mountain sold 6,000 physical units during its first week of release in Japan, making it 16th best selling retail game in the country. So yes, it is a separate purchase. You're not getting it just because you have Horizon, whatever the sequel's called, I forgot. It ain't, I keep wanting to say Zero Dawn, but yes, the second Horizon game. But at $549, the headset costs more than the PS5 itself, so expectations are high. Bloomberg notes that Meta and Apple have faced similar content challenges with their own headsets. Whatever challenges they have, I don't think we need to compare them to the PlayStation challenges, because one, it costs less, two, you have more options and titles to play, and three, they've been out quite much longer where they've never came out and said they had to stop production, where they're just sitting on shelves because nobody's buying them. So miss me with that bullshit, Bloomberg. Don't try to cape for these niggas. As well as pausing production on the headset, Sony's recent layoffs impacted teams that have worked on VR titles. It closed its London studio, and the developer behind Horizon Call of the Mountain, Firesprite Studio, was also impacted. In total, the layoffs are expected to affect around 900 Sony employees, or 8% of its overall headcount. I do think it's kind of strange that they fired people that work on VR titles when that's the issue, of a big issue of why the VR wasn't selling in the first place. I mean, I'm not saying like it was gonna do gangbusters if y'all had everybody working on these awesome VR titles, because like I said, that buy-in is a big ask. But if you need titles, is a big deal. Like, you need to give us something that we've never seen before that's gonna entice people to want to run out and get them a VR, but you got rid of the people that make them. So here's to it. In an attempt to increase the amount of content available for its headset, Sony recently announced that it's testing PC support, offering the ability for PSVR 2 players to access additional games on PC. It's currently unclear how widespread the headset support for PC titles might be, but support is planned for later this year. I find that quite hilarious this, because you have the option to make this PC compatible, but you should have done that upon release. You definitely would have sold more if people that play PC had the option to have this honestly, objectively great piece of hardware that works well and is superior to its competitors, and those people would have bought it like, well, I can play PlayStation titles with my headset and I can play PC titles with my headset. You know, like, even the fact that it's still tethered to something, it needs to a cord to work, is just like, that was already outdated. But you could have definitely sold into people more if you would have gave them an option to play PC games. And now you're like running around with chickens with your head cut off, like, oh god, we got to get this involved with the PC because we need to sell. And it's just like, y'all let money motivate y'all like this greed of like, no, we need everybody to buy into the PS ecosystem. And now look at you. Oh, can we put it on PC now because we need more people to buy it? Like, this is that bullshit. Like, you want people to buy into your ecosystem, but you're not making it seem like a good deal. It's only a good deal for y'all. We have to sell this because we took a big loss on consoles. Even though the PS5 is selling well relative to Xbox, it isn't selling well for them to recoup the cost of these consoles. This always happens. It's not new. Like, you gotta take a loss on the console and then make it up through sales. But you know, you haven't consistently been giving us exclusives that are must buys. Not consistently. There are some. It's just y'all shot yourselves in the foot with a lot of what's going on, and it's just hard to feel bad for Sony or even gaming in general. If you haven't looked already, check out my retrospective video on the state of gaming and why we are in situations like this. If you have not checked it out already, we all understand that these companies are here to make money. Nobody's mad at you, but you got to make it attractive for us too. Like, get y'all ends. But y'all getting y'all ends don't mean you get to just go inside of ours. Thanks for tuning in to Logix Lens, where the game is winning. I'm out.